Maybe your pops was tops. Maybe your father's a bother. If he's angry and mad or in absentee lad, no matter what kind you had, here's fuck you, Dad.
Welcome to another episode of Fuck You Dad, everybody. If you are watching this on YouTube right now, I'm going to ask you to a huge favor. Just go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're almost at 1,000 subscribers, and that number seems like it's important.
Goddamn right.
Mm-hmm. Click that button. It helps us a lot. It makes me feel good. And if you feel like making me feel good, make me feel good, baby. Press that button. But today is our magnum opus, dude. It has been leading up to this point. This is our climax. We have our best bud in the world, Mark McPartland, on. Marky, baby, how you doing?
Oh, I'm doing good. I mean, this has been a long... The fans have been asking for it, the emails. I'm getting stopped on the streets.
Tell me about it.
People are really hoping. I'm also, here's a little fun fact about me to start the pod. I am not subscribed to the podcast. If you can go ahead and get a double subscription for old Mark McPartland, I would appreciate it.
Click on that one for Mark.
Click on it for Mark McPartland.
It'd be nice if we had 1,000 just somewhere. You know what I mean? Like, it's not in the bank account, but 1,000 subscribers on YouTube.
Let me get a comma at some point in my life here.
Yeah.
Let me look at a number that's 4 digits and just be like, well, yeah, we
did it. Yeah. You're like telling that to your girlfriend. You're like, well, at least I have 1,000 YouTube subscribers.
That's halfway to being monetized.
Yeah.
I could be making $5s on this website.
It's a roundabout explanation of like telling her you don't have rent.
Yeah.
I have future money in YouTube if you would just believe.
Oh, and that conversation is coming because your boy got fired last
Right.
week.
And you want to walk the listeners through really what is like a true crime story about time theft?
Well, you know, I had a job where I worked from home, and I was slowly taking work out of that equation. I was just
slowly the word, or was there ever a work involved in it?
Yeah, there was a lot of work going on, and we had been getting past pretty at a fairly successful rate, but they
you're putting more work into this explanation than you put. Well,
you know, when somebody investigates you, you know, you gotta have a political answer
for sure.
Yeah, this is very much sounds like you're giving the HR response of what you're preparing when they do the audit, when they come down from corporate and finally get you in.
Yeah. My PR lady said that I should really address it as like it was a mistake, you know, but we're working on it. And
so work from home, and then in classic Nick fashion, you just fucked off completely.
Well, yeah. Classic Nick fashion. I didn't fuck off completely for a little bit of time. I kept doing it, and then it got out of control. And then it got to the point where...
you keep that in mind before you judge. And he had a hard 3.5 weeks where he was technically turning on that Slack bubble.
Ooh, I was calling those buildings. But, yeah, you know, to new beginnings, you know what I'm saying?
Right, like falling asleep before we're recording this 40 minutes late because again you don't have a job. This was the only thing you had to do today.
Yeah,
was wake up. You couldn't do that. I'm about to call your manager just so you can console me.
It's not the only thing I had to do today. I edited some videos. Okay, I downloaded a new video game that's free, so that seemed
that took a lot out of you.
Yeah.
You clicked the download button and you were just like, let me take a 3-hour nap.
I had to watch a YouTube video about how to play the game and stuff. So that was, I was taking notes.
It was just Tetris, just being like, oh, what am I gonna do?
Yeah.
You had to get your iCloud password to figure out how to download that. That is a tough thing.
The iCloud password, fucking forget about it.
I've lost all of my memory and history. I don't even know what to tell you guys about this podcast about your childhood because I forgot my password. That was like the first password I ever made. Who knows what it is?
I just use the same password forever. I don't fucking care anymore. I just keep forgetting the. First off, if you want my identity, you can have it. I'll say my social security number out. Good luck with it.
Yeah.
You know, you try to do something.
Join the Patreon for Kenyans.
You guys want to?
Join the Patreon. You click subscribe. I will literally message you my social security number. Good luck.
You guys want a hot scoop for the pod?
Yeah.
All right, my middle school password, and I don't know what is still connected to this.
Okay.
Was Beatles fan 0090. That's for real. That's I swear to God. Type in Mark McPartland. I don't know RuneScape or something. I'm sure that's still.
That'll for sure.
I got that beat. My ex or whatever, who was trying to sign me up for Apple Music, and I forgot my original email was associated with my my Apple shit, and she was just like. Well, there you go. There's your free Apple Music, Dark Child 4702. Dark Child 4702 at AOL.com. And I was like on a road trip back from Atlanta, almost rode that car right into the.
You became the dark child again.
Yeah,
you fucking went back to the demon place. You
I really did.
Walked the lonely road.
Yeah. Because
Somebody was like,
really
I need
cool.
these Linkin Park albums.
Yeah.
This is Dark Child.
Yeah. I was playing it real cool, and she's like, Dark Child 40702. And I was like, no!
In your head, you just heard the opening piano of Welcome to the Black Parade.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it was dark real quick.
Dark
come on.
Child. That's such a that's like a cop pretending to be a kid trying to get molested on the internet.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm Dark Child.
I mean, I was like, if you just take how angsty I am now, just imagine middle school.
Oh,
It
man.
was just unfeathered, couldn't be around. I found a high school essay I wrote the other day that was like, should have landed me in a psych ward. But it was talking about the American dream, and I was trying to compare the American dream to. You ever seen Mice and Men?
Yeah.
I was saying that basically at some point everyone has to take their dream out to the river and shoot in the back of the head.
Damn. Pretty astute observation.
No,
I was saying that we all have to like take like our childhood dream and
Wow.
say that it's going to happen and accept that life is
And
never
you're like
going
14.
to go.
You're like
Yeah,
14.
yeah. I'm like 14 and like broken in such a way that you have to accept that like hell is that life is just this hell where nothing works out.
For some reason, I'm picturing this in very like fist on the pencil font, like they did. Like I'm picturing a writing assignment of just like tell us. About
I
your
actually
dream.
said, and this is a quote from it, that the American dream is a carrot to keep the workers in the field in front of a horde. It's a
Your
pretty.
dad must have been so proud.
Oh,
dude.
my dad wasn't
Kept
in
that
my,
one on the
my dad. If
refrigerator.
my dad was in my life, he would have known. But no, my dad was off frolicking, or as he would say, this is his excuse for being homeless. He was actually researching homeless people. There's not a lot of evidence. There's no one's doing it, and so he had to do an inside 30 days scoop.
It's gonzo journalism. It's very deep. It's fear and loathing in central Raleigh streets.
Yeah.
It's very, very good.
I'm studying unemployment right now.
Yeah.
Just taking a look at it, writing stuff down. Getting to the nitty gritty science
This
of
is like
not having a
like
job.
supersize me, like 30 days of McDonald's meal to talk about the obesity crisis. This upcoming recession, you were about to supersize me for about 6 months. We're gonna see how your sex drive goes. People are gonna beg you to stop
That
doing
thing's
it.
right
You're
up.
gonna keep going.
That was like also I don't know if I've ever said this before, but my dad always had this dream of like making like documentaries or movies. But his big movie that he wanted to make was just that he would knock on people's doors and he'd be like, "Are you you really think you're with your soulmate?" And
Wow.
basically just convince them that they're not.
Yeah, people want that in their life.
Yeah. Like because
People
it's
want
like
a stranger
it's very
knocking up
clear
being
that
like,
it's
your marriage sucks.
It's very clear one man who just regrets the marriage he's in, so he's like, I'll make a documentary exposing how everybody's not really in love. And it's like, it might just be you, bud.
That's like just like extreme makeover harassment edition. He just shows up in a bus and knocks on the door like this is all wrong. And then
Yeah.
You think that love is real?
Yeah.
It's just an extension of the state. You're like, who is this guy?
That was like another thing he would always, because he like didn't get married for a really long time, and he's like he like sent like an uncle of his got married and he didn't go because he sent like a whole email about how he doesn't believe in marriage. And it's
Yes.
all, and I'm like, yeah, I can tell you don't believe in marriage. We know. Affairs speak louder than words. Okay.
How do you feel about fatherhood?
Yeah.
Don't get me started on
Right.
that corporate line. Just another carrot and on the stick.
Yeah.
Trying to get you to work for the man to give your kid something. Fuck him.
Yeah.
Anybody can give me anything? No.
Yeah, exactly.
God, I love your dad, dude.
He hated the founding fathers not just for creating the capitalist system, but for being parental figures.
They set this fucking unattainable standard that I gotta follow. Oh my god! But
You were
Yeah.
you were talking about your dad trying to make a documentary. I'll drop a dad story on here for the FU Dad
okay.
podcast.
Okay, Dad,
My dad
start
had
that.
this he had this aspiration that he was going to make some sort of workout machine. Now this man never
that's
once
like such a dad aspiration.
it's a dad thing. It's the thing of like when you're a dad and you're just up there just moving iron and you're like, how do I make iron to money? And this
Yeah.
was before Andrew Tate and YouTube, so he had to like he had to go for it. So he had this thing that was when you're sitting in a car, right? It was like I don't know what it was. It was like a stringy rope, and so you're sitting there, you're paused, and then you just start working out with it.
Wait, when would you do that in the car?
When you would do that, when your son Mark is begging you to stop, when that people are looking, you're embarrassing yourself. So his idea was like you're gonna work out in the car, but the thing he designed had no.
Oh, so he actually made it.
He made a.
He had a prototype.
He had a prototype, and this was. I think he has a patent for it, which I might.
Wow.
Are you?
I
you
might
went
have
as far to patent.
Yo, I might have.
Wait, you might have inherited
that patent, guys.
Wait, so what are we even doing?
F you, a
Off to
million
the races.
guys. This is going to be day
Well, you
one.
you said it on the pod, so it's this
is now a.
this is live. This is
I'm,
all right.
I'm
too.
claiming
It's merch.
This.
Yeah.
This is on. Actually, you could probably add some merch to it. So basically, what it was like a pillow. That he had, all right, so
I'm down with a workout pillow. That sounds about my speed.
Now, he didn't want it to be a workout pillow.
Oh, okay.
Now, we here at Workout Car LLC would be very upset with that description of this spot. It was a pillow that like had it had like a rubber band type thing to it. And so the idea would be like you have the pillow like this and you're going like this and cars are begging you to drive.
Yeah.
And it had
how what hellish traffic are you in? Do you have enough time for like a 10-minute rep?
It's in Cary. It's a lot of open roads.
This man lives in like rural North Carolina. One of the only benefits is there's not that much traffic.
Nothing but greens. By the time that you would have to take out and do this, it had no like this.
Can you imagine if a cop pulled you over? They just see you doing that. You've been drinking? You're like, no, I'm just pounding. Only pre-workout, buddy.
When the cops are like, why are you sweating so much, sir? Sorry, there was a big red light. I was working out so much.
Just doing a set of 12, on my pillow. So it's a pillow with a band, and you're like pushing the band.
Yeah, you have like max like a minute if there's a red light.
Max a minute to take it out. The way he designed this. Now the patent that I inherited. Now I'm going to build off the product, guys. You know me. This is sort of like I'm sort of the Ray Kroc here of this whole enterprise. I'm about to take it to the next.
Steve Wazowski.
Steve Wazowski.
Is that his name? The Apple guy?
Yeah, Steve Wazowski, Steve Jobs. I'm the brains. All right, and so his thing had it had about the amount of. All right, I'm sorry. Broke the podcast.
Don't touch that.
Broke the podcast. My dad knew I was talking shit on a live mic. And he came out as a ghost to ruin. It had about the give of this, so you couldn't really work out that hard on it. But it's a good thing when you're like, Dad, why aren't you being a father? He can be like, I'm getting my pump on. It's a good
Maybe
excuse.
it was a good thing for him to like stay on the road, because he must have been kind of tipsy. Maybe a little tipsy behind the wheel occasionally.
You don't make the exercise pillow if you're not tipsy.
He's like,
it's a real.
I gotta stop hitting these guardrails. Maybe if I put a rubber band around my head, I can fucking focus.
Yeah.
It's just a reason to have a pillow so you can sleep in your car and be like, oh, no, I'm not sleeping in my car. What are you talking about?
Yeah, you're like, well, when you're already sleeping in your car, and you're like, you might as well just be working out.
He's gonna make like a weighted workout blanket. So when the cops come over, he's just like, no, this is actually 35 pounds.
Yeah.
Like I'm not just sleeping and reclining in an Arby's parking lot. But we're gonna make a lot of goddamn money.
Another thing my dad would always say, Walmart. They let you sleep there for free and the cops don't bother you.
He's pumped on that.
Yeah, I know. He brings that up like that's an awesome fact. Like, he'll be like, sweet, I'm going to go sleep in a parking lot.
So funny to hate capitalism, be like, Walmart is a great company. They know what they're doing. They love their people.
Well, see, he hates but anything that helps him, then the philosophy goes away immediately.
It's capital until Wendy's came out with that 4 for $4 meal, and he's like, "No, that's just helping the people. That's just redistributing the chili coleslaw fries." I like that a lot.
Oh my god! But the big news about my dad. My dad's back on the dating market, which
wow,
which makes me uncomfortable that my dad has a penis. You know what I mean? I honestly can't go to sleep at night knowing that he can make more. You know what I mean?
That's like literally look out, ladies. Like that's really
no. But so I was having an awkward dinner with him when I was back in town, and he was he's like, yeah, I'm trying to date again, and I was like, oh, you on like Hinge or something like that, and he's like, no, I'm on this like Filipino dating website. Like he pretty much exclusively talks to women in the Philippines. And then no, Mark, I want you to brace for impact here. If you know my dad, right? Because I was like trying to be like, Dad, I think a lot of these people in the rural Philippines, they might be trying to like take advantage of you or something. And he was like, oh yeah, sometimes they ask me for money, but you know what I ask them right back? What are you doing to advance the cause of socialism in your country? That is my dad's opener. If you're wondering what you're like hit me with your best pickup line, my dad's best pickup line.
He's trying to.
He's like, are you a Mao or a Stalin guy?
He's trying to seed the revolution in the Philippines via just like eHarmony for them. eHarmony.ph.
Yeah, we'll all live in harmony once the proletariat is free.
He's going to be the first person where a mail-ordered bride mails themselves back. They're going to get back in the box and express themselves back to whatever country.
They just keep pointing at the return address on the box and looking at him like,
yeah,
back.
That is for sure. But
wrapping themselves up in Christmas paper and putting it on a bow and just jumping into a post.
That Christmas would be a fun Adam Chick Christmas, dude. There's just this random woman who doesn't speak English, and your dad being like, yeah.
That is his type.
This is your new mom.
What are you doing to advance the cause of socialism in your country?
He said that like with a like that's like a normal thing.
It's almost like he's saying that like they're not getting one over him on him or something like that. I still feel, has he sent, do you have access to the funds? Has he sent the check yet? Because the man might have sent the check. And maybe
money over there?
Uh-huh.
This man doesn't have any money. I mean, I gave him the most money he had through, well, not really. You know, I stopped at a red light, person behind me, that wasn't the truth, so they totaled the car his car I was driving, which is, you know, he was paid for by my grand. So he got 20 grand from that? And we were just sitting in a, what's the fucking shitty place in the South? It's like, not like a country buffet, but they have it's like a gift shop.
Cracker Barrel?
Cracker Barrel. Loves Cracker Barrel.
Shitty place in the South.
Said he, quote, would love to have his room dressed up that way.
That's
insane.
Because Cracker Barrel feels like home to people who have never had a home.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That should be their motto. Literally on point. It's just such a fake, horrible place. And then we were at Cracker Barrel, and he's like, yeah, you could just get a bunch of sides. His way of saying appetizers. So we're just sharing appetizers at Cracker Barrel, and he's like, yeah, I'm just tough. And I'm like, whatever happened to the 20 grand? He's like, you know, you don't even know. Yeah, you do. You should. That's like taking insane vacation in Europe money. But he just shit bamboo, spend it on like cameras to film his roommate or whatever. So
he has cameras?
He did. He installed a camera to like watch his roommate, and it was like you could. But then this is a real thing. We talked about it around here. But he had to sync it to your phone. You'd have to like put in your like present address and give him a bunch of information.
That's right.
He just didn't want to go that far because he was too paranoid to give the camera to spy on his roommate any info. So that's kind of the circular logic we're trapped in.
Oh, those camera people love paranoid people, dude.
Oh,
I bet once he bought the camera, they were like, you want the mic set, right? Too?
Yeah,
and
like,
the brain scanner.
Oh, you could keep going. And he's just like, wait, you got a brain scanner. No, my dad will make you like quit your job and start a new life. There was like, he was trying to get some like painting like refitted or whatever.
I think we need him to get him this reality show where you just stop at knock on people's doors.
Yeah.
Then whatever happens afterwards is up to him.
Yeah,
but let's just record him knocking on people's doors.
Oh,
and see
dude,
what happens.
he is the biggest fan. And Grandpa always says this about him. He like. Trolling is probably the closest. He gets off on making people uncomfortable for sure.
Yeah,
like he
known fact in your family.
No, I know that. I've like because like so it's like he'll be like at a McDonald's, right? And he'll be like the advance that calls social up thing. He'll think like he's part of like a Michael Moore documentary or something.
Okay, yeah.
Where he'll just be like, yeah. So like, what do you think about socialism or whatever? And someone's like, I'm working at McDonald's. You know what I mean? They're like, here's your order.
Yeah.
And they might say something that isn't that astute because they're in the middle of an 8-hour shift, and then he'll just sit there and argue with them. He'd be like, oh, you really think? And then it's like, just take the McDonald's. And so fat kid in the back seat, waiting to eat these feelings away, and he's standing in between me and the goods, harassing a man making $7 an hour.
Yeah, he's just bored. He's like a puppy dog. He just wants to pick a fight. What do you think about socialism? Whatever you say, I fucking hate it.
There's no right answer.
He really is like he has the idea that his life's a movie, but he doesn't understand that he's like more to the antagonist of this movie. He doesn't understand that it's more of a. I like the idea of doing impromptu social experiments to no record, no recording, only his own perception.
No, that's it.
It's data. It's data to no one. If you don't mind, for the Patreon, I would like to follow him around with a GoPro camera.
I mean, again, it's data to no one is like so.
Or just strap one to him like one of those like wild cats on TikTok. They'll just strap a camera to it and let it run around.
Dude, I mean, because I tried to say like
He's following a group of kids that are going Christmas caroling.
Yeah.
Is he about to ask them about religion? You know he is.
Oh my! I think one time my mom tried to bring him to church. Probably some like.
That's a fox in the hen house right there.
It for sure was. And my memory around this is a little foggy because that's how trauma works. But I remember Christians, they're out front, they're being all nice to you, and. Some guy was like, "Hey, good morning," and he's like, "I bet you think it's good, huh, buddy?"
That's correct. That is correct.
And
he just walked into there.
And the guy was like, "Wait, I don't know how to handle." Like he was like blowing their brain because they're like, "Oh, you just be nice," and then they'll buy
He walked into that church like Modern Warfare, like remember no Russians. Just immediately just started hi, Merry Christmas. Nothing merry about the Yugoslav war conflict.
Yeah. And I just remember there was some friend of my mom's or something, some nice older gentleman that was like, "Oh, great, God bless you," or whatever. And they just he just muttered something, but I just remember going "Fuck you," and they just got up and walked out. Didn't even make it into any. It just got up, walked out.
They're passing around the basket, and he's like, "Pay you guys. You guys should be paying me for listening to this bullshit."
That was the only time we ever the most we bonded was I was sent to a Bible camp. And some guy at church was like, "I'll pay you $50 if you go to Bible camp." And this is what does that sound? Is there a train?
That's the train. That's the 3-minute warning.
That's the dad.
Okay.
Calling from the other side, dude.
Yeah.
Telling us to wrap it up.
That felt I forgot about the warning, so it just felt very is he here? My dad's driving a car through the wall. he's
It is funny that never goes away because we talk shit about our dads all the time. But that weird thing in the back of your head where he's like, "Is he here?" It still happens.
Oh, let me tell you something. You get yourself a dead dad. You start seeing that. You start seeing that all the time. You start seeing up water's cold. I know who that is. Sorry, Dad, I wasn't fucking there. I wasn't good at sports or whatever.
Yeah. That's your dad's only gripe. Some narc son who sucked at football.
Yeah, he's just watching you right now "Oh, yeah, sure, you do comedy, but join a rec softball league, you pussy."
Yeah. Because your dad was, he was a fraternity leader at ECU.
Yeah, he was a fraternity leader at ECU on the
he was real McParties.
He was real McParties.
King McParties.
No, he was the OG McParties. He was the grand. He had the on his wall in his room. He had the paddle.
Oh wow!
So before they realized that torturing 18-year-olds was an inherently wrong thing. He basically had this as a shrine of you would not believe how many people I sodomized and now no longer talk to.
Well, they really got one over on him, huh? For the listeners, Mark's dad died of alcoholism. All right,
that is a good way that we should do an 80s freeze.
I mean, that was a real revenge to the nerds.
Well, that's how frat kings want to die. Captains of the ship dream of going down with their ship. Frat kings are one day I'll get psoriasis.
You know how I think the nerds came back? They invented that technology to tell how when a Coors Light is cold, and that just sunk my dad. They worked out that
the mountains are blue, son. Means it's time to get a couple down.
They're just
it's an old Native American ritual. Oh, when the mountains are blue, we must drink 7 Coors Light.
You're just slamming this nerdy kid in the ass really hard. And he's like, "I'm gonna go invent Everclear. That's what I'm gonna do.
And I'm gonna work out in my car.
Invent Everclear." As a basically assassination attempt on your dad.
I would love to see your dad. I mean, I never met him, but it would be such a funny
Mark would
thing.
also
I would love to see him too.
I'm sure you would. You know that scene from Flight when he's downing a bottle of vodka in the parking lot? I would love to see that with your dad doing the exact same thing, but also working out on this fucking weird machine.
And also not to go and do an intense something in front of Congress or something. This is just him. It's all right, we got to go renew the license.
Yeah.
My dad just knocks on the window. "Excuse me, sir, what are you doing for socialism?" All right, guys, that's been a hot ep. Please come to the Lincoln Lodge every goddamn night of the week for quality comedy. You can catch all 3 of us there. Please go support our Patreon. We need it for money to pay for this goddamn studio. It ain't free. Nick doesn't have a job. And
dude.
I mean, my day's coming in court any day now. Follow Mark McPartland on Instagram along with all of us if you give a shit. And, keep listening.
Hey guys, you just listened to another episode of Fuck You Dad. If you could follow us on our Instagram, which is FCKYOUDAD podcast. That's the important one. We also have a Twitter account, which is FCKYOUDADPODCA1. If you could follow that. Also, please submit any father stories that you have that you'd like us to make fun of, laugh at, or share. Shoot that to our Instagram DMs. And if you could please go ahead and rate the podcast, share the podcast with your friends and family that might enjoy it, and keep listening. Thank you so much.